There's been some recent comments on Conor McGregor lately. So Conor is calling about all sorts of guys at 170 pounds. I mean, Usman comes to mind. He had some kind of a beef with Masvidal that he started, or Dana got involved. However, that story played out, but some guys at 170 pounds. Then he's talking about, he said that Justin Gaethje's on the hit list for 2020. Oh, and by the way, should he win this fight, he's going right into the winner of Khabib and Tony. And a lot of people said, hey, he should be more focused. I read this. He should be more focused like he used to be. And I'm kind of standing back and going, I think you guys are misremembering that. I don't know about this Conor that was super focused. The Conor that I remember fought Chad Mendes on 8 days' notice when he was supposed to be fighting somebody else. The Conor that I remember changed weight classes, went up against Eddie Alvarez, champion versus champion, biggest gate, Madison Square Garden debut. The Conor that I knew grabbed both belts, left the sport completely, went and competed at yet a different weight class of like 153 and a half pounds against an undefeated 50-0 Floyd Mayweather in a totally different sport. I mean, I'm not sure that you guys are remembering the story correctly. It seems as though Conor McGregor, both for the shtick, but also the real competitor, is just that. He's a competitor. You say whatever you want about Conor, fine, I'll listen. You go ahead and have your opinion. He's worked hard so that you do have an opinion, one way or the other. If you call Conor McGregor a coward, you are simply stating something that is not true. He will go out there and compete, period. I mean, in the world of street cred, when Conor McGregor moves up to and I feel like I got to lay out the timeline and lay out the story because many people seem to be regurgitating the story, but they're regurgitating it incorrectly. When Conor McGregor moved up to 170 pounds, took yet again a short notice replacement by the name of Nate Diaz. When Conor comes up short in that fight, gets choked out about 7.5 minutes in, he demands a rematch. Dana says, okay, fine. We're going to do the rematch, but we're going to do it at a more reasonable weight, your weight of 155 pounds. And Conor says, absolutely not. Same. I want the exact same opponent. I want him in the exact same arena for the exact same amount of time in the exact same rules. And by the way, in the exact same weight class. Do me no favors. Well, come on. In the world of respect, in the world of competitiveness, oh, and by the way, not just to take on that challenge, but to flip the script. From getting taken out in 7.5 minutes to getting your hand raised after 25 exhausting minutes on the same opponent, same weight class, same rule set, same arena. Tip your hat. I mean, tip your hat and walk away. That was an incredible thing to do. I lay that out for you because it seems to some that Conor is unfocused and that he's spreading himself thin and he's spreading himself around. That's nothing new. That's when he seems to do his best work. When he's not too focused on any one thing. And don't forget, the Conor McGregor brand is to not look a fool to anybody. If you call him out, you are now fighting Conor McGregor. And I even heard all the talk that Conor is scared to fight, whether it be Tony or Conor doesn't want any piece of Khabib or Conor's ducking Gaethje. It seems as though wherever Conor's name lands, opposite whoever he lands, instead of anybody going, okay, great, Conor's back. Oh, and by the way, that's a super hard fight that he just accepted. It always appears that, well, he wanted that fight, so he didn't have to do this fight. I mean, it just is a part of the dialogue. Now, that dialogue can be very helpful to Conor McGregor. It shows that so many people want to see him fighting so many different people, but instead of looking at for the positive that it is and for the interest that Conor has developed in multiple fights all at one time, somehow the gun gets turned back and they attempt to use it as a negative. I've never understood how you can say that about Conor's career, but I also don't know how you could be so disrespectful to Conor's opponent. If you're coming away saying, well, Conor's fighting Cowboy because he doesn't want to fight Gaethje or he doesn't want to fight Khabib or wants to fight, if you're saying anything other than the fact that Conor just signed up at 170 pounds, by the way, where he's batting 500, to take on a guy who has 11. Did you guys hear what I just said? Cowboy Cerrone is sitting on 11 UFC records. I don't even know what they are. Most bonuses of all time, most knockouts of all time, most fights of all time, most wins of all time. I'm close somewhere in here. And whenever you find those 4 things, then add 7 more to it. This is a remarkable fighter in Cowboy Cerrone. And there seems to be some people that are missing that. And I don't know how. I don't know how we can have such incredibly short-term memories. But in the vein of short-term memories, allow me to remind you, when you come to focus, when you come to zeroing in, when you come to having one target in mind, that's just not a piece of Conor's story. Conor has always spread it around. He's always bounced around, whether it's weight classes or championships or co-main events or main events or changing sports completely. Conor's always been open to all challenges, been a man of his word, fought on the dates that he said he was going to fight at the weight class he said he'd fight in. He shows up ready to go. He puts it on the line. That's the Conor McGregor story.